Loyalty and trust are supposedly a mobster's creed.
You're going to do business with me.
But the Mafia Code of Honor means nothing to Ron Previte.
My allegiance was to me, not to no mob.
If I'm going to be compensated.
A criminal whose only motivation is money.
I was a crook. Every chance I had, I robbed. I made money. I robbed motorists. I robbed drug dealers. Bad guys are people that prey on the weak. I didn't prey on the weak. I preyed on people over the top of me, people that could kill me.
They call him Big Ron.
Ron is 6 feet 2 inches tall and 300 pounds.
He's a corrupt cop turned mobster.
Am I a good person? Probably not by the definition of the word good.
He's playing both sides for cash.
It was 24 hours of crime every day. It was hectic. It was nasty.
It's a dangerous game, one that could either dismantle the Philadelphia mob or take down Big Ron.
If they grab me and put one in me, I'm dead. Guess I haven't done much good in this life. But that's me. Some people do right, some people do wrong. I did wrong.
Big Ron Previte began his life of doing wrong as a kid in West Philadelphia.
You know, I think when I was 14 years old was probably the first time I stole an automobile. Back then, you just pulled the wires down and put them together. It was for thrills, it was for money. My life just wasn't what it was supposed to be, normal.
It's 1957. Previte's role models, the guys making money in his neighborhood, are gangsters. They're members of the Philadelphia mob, a crime family quickly becoming one of America's most powerful syndicates, right behind New York and Chicago. To Ron Previte, the wise guys embody his own core belief.
To me, when I seen somebody on the side of the road digging a ditch and sweating, I said, that's stupid, I can't do that. That was my psyche at the time.
During a long criminal career, Previte will make a fortune, conning not only the mafia, but also the FBI.
That's all I can tell you. Now, yes.
Ron was a good BS artist, and he could convince anybody of anything he wanted to do.
Gary Langan is the FBI agent who will eventually persuade him to take on the most dangerous deception of his life by testifying against one of the nation's most dangerous mafia families. Most criminals who rat on the mob do it for survival or vengeance, but Ron would only do it for another reason.
Ron always worked for Ron. If he could make money doing something, that's what he would do.
At the age of 25, Previte begins his criminal career in earnest by doing the most unlikely thing, becoming a cop, a very corrupt cop.
The era that I was in was a very corrupt era. I don't know, every cop I knew back then was corrupt. First sergeant I had told me a good cop never gets hungry, wet, or cashes his own paycheck. I tried to live by that credo, to cash it. You make enough money on the street that you can save your paycheck. That's what that means. For me to say I cared about the crime in Philadelphia, I'd be telling you a lie. I was a crook. Every chance I had, I robbed. I made money. I robbed motorists. I robbed drug dealers. If you did pull one over in a car and they had drugs, you took the drugs and the money. They were more than happy to move along. Corruption was the name of the game.
He starts his own bookmaking operation, and on busy nights, takes bets from inside the station.
Bookmaking is an occupation where you make good money. I liked making the money. I liked doing what I was doing. And did I have any remorse? None whatsoever. I guess I was like an addict. I couldn't stop. That's what I did. We were stealing money, yes, but we were still arresting crooks, rapists, thugs, creeps, whatever. We arrested them. Of course, we robbed them if they had anything on them, but yeah, we arrested them.
It takes 12 years, but the police department finally becomes suspicious of Previte's behavior. There's no formal investigation, no charges, but Previte gives up his badge and leaves the Philly PD.
The end had come for me in the police department, and it was time to skedaddle. I knew that, they knew that, and before there was any real problems, I left.
It's 1980, and new casinos are taking over Atlantic City. It's a gangster's paradise, and Ron Previte's next career step as a criminal is a job as a security guard at the Tropicana Casino.
They had a warehouse there with everything in it. I mean, everything that's in a casino was in this warehouse. And we were stealing so much stuff from there, you just wouldn't believe it. I mean, we took millions of dollars worth of stuff out of this place.
But once again, it's not enough for Big Ron. He brings even more money in, supplying drugs and prostitutes to casino clients. And Previte still has his bookmaking operation.
I never liked being called a pimp. I never liked being called a bookmaker. I was none of them things. I was everything. I was a general practitioner of crime. I was my own criminal enterprise, me. I made it a profession.
But soon, Ron Previte's profession shows up on the radar of the Philadelphia mob. He's making big money in their playground, and they want a cut. Big Ron agrees to give the mobsters $500 a week. They have no idea he's making 5 times that every night.
I'll tell you how much money I was making. I'd work in the one casino late in the morning. I'd had a limo pick me up at 8 and take me to another casino where I'd gamble all day. I wasn't obsessed with money. I was obsessed with making money that I could spend.
But in 1985, after 5 years of living the casino life, Previte's luck runs out.
Freeze! Hold it, right there.
He's arrested by the New Jersey State Police.
I got a call from a state trooper that had arrested me, that wanted to speak to me.
The New Jersey State Police are trying to limit the mob's control of Atlantic City. Their organized crime unit is recruiting informants, and Ron Previte is at the top of the list.
He said, I know that you're very well placed, you got a lot of contacts, and I think we could work together.
Big Ron sees the offer as another opportunity to make money, but he still doesn't think of himself as a bad guy.
Bad guys are people that prey on the weak. I didn't prey on the weak. I preyed on people over the top of me. People that had more than me. People that could kill me.
Hey, Ron, I got a big bet here. I need your okay. Go with
A
that.
good gangster sets up crime. He makes crime, figures stuff out.
It's 1985, and Ron Previte, an ex-cop turned criminal, is figuring out his next move. He's been stealing from a casino in Atlantic City and gaining respect from the mob.
Freeze!
But Big Ron's been caught by the police. However, they don't want him behind bars. They want to hire him.
Never seen him before.
The police wants information about crimes that are being committed by other people. I said, well, you know, why would I help you? I mean, I don't understand it. You have to explain this to me. He said, well, number one, I could probably get rid of these charges. He said, you don't have to be a witness. You don't have to testify. Just information, because I know that you're very well placed. You got a lot of contacts.
Come on, Ron. What about that guy over there?
But only one thing motivates Ron Previte. If the Jersey cops want him to turn informant, they'll have to pay.
He said, if you can give me the right information, I can put you on the payroll for, say, $350 a week. I didn't want to be rude, I said, but, you know, $350 a week is chump change. And then he went on and said, well, you do have a pretty nice bookmaking operation, and I could protect that.
It's an offer Big Ron can't refuse. For the first time in 15 years, he doesn't have to worry about the police.
The bookmaking operation was my lifeblood, and protection for that was golden. I took him up on his deal.
He's a hitter.
As a paid informant, over the next 5 years, Ron Previte gives the state police names and information on everything from loan sharks to drug dealers. But because he's not considered a cooperating witness, he doesn't have to wear a wire or testify against anyone.
I knew instantaneously how to be a rat. I knew what to do, I knew the information to give him, and I knew the information not to give him.
By 1992, Previte's bookmaking operation is one of Philly's largest. He's still giving the mob a cut, But Mafia boss John Stamfa wants more. He wants to meet Big Ron face to face.
John Stamfa was an immigrant from Sicily who people feared. He was known as a killer. And some way or other it got back to him that I had a large bookmaking operation.
Before the Stamfa meeting, the FBI arrives and offers Previte a job promotion from state police informant to FBI informant. They're building a case against Stamfa, and Previte could provide the missing pieces.
He convinced the mob guys that he was one of them. He basically was not. He was doing the stuff for the FBI.
My allegiance was to me, not to no mob. They never did nothing but rob me. The Godfather, I love that movie. Greatest movie ever made. But I think it's listed as fiction, isn't it? I wish the mob was like that, but it's not.
Within the year, Previte amazes the FBI by working his way into Stamfa's inner circle. He makes the mob boss a partner in his bookmaking operation. And Stamfa rewards Big Ron with the coveted position of personal driver and bodyguard.
That was great because he rode with John and talked with John all the time.
It was 24 hours of crime every day, day after day. It was hectic, it was vicious, it was nasty. But like everything else, honestly, it didn't bother me.
And in the middle of a bloody mob war,
We were running around shooting people, and I mean, it was crazy.
Previte takes on his most dangerous business venture yet. It will also be his most lucrative.
People say that it was the greatest deal ever brokered with the FBI. The mob was a means to an end. It was strictly business. There wasn't no jumping up and down and slapping hands like you won a softball game.
It's 1992, and Ron Previte, former cop and longtime criminal, is now a member of the Philadelphia mob. He's the driver and bodyguard for mafia boss John Stamfa, the perfect place for an FBI informant.
He would call the FBI and say, this is what I'm going to do today, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. And sometimes we would say, that's a good idea. Sometimes we'd say, that's not a good idea.
Being an informant with the FBI is not an exact science. You don't have a day, Tuesday, 4:30 to meet. I would meet with them when I could, and I would talk to them when I could. I had to be very careful, and I was good at that like I was good at everything else.
But while juggling the mob, the feds, and his bookmaking business, Previte runs into trouble. He gets caught up in one of Philadelphia's most vicious mob wars.
We were actually like a street gang at the time. I thought we were the Bloods and the Crips. Just running around shooting people, and I mean, it was crazy.
Battle lines are split between Stamfa, the current boss, and a mobster named Joey Merlino.
They didn't like each other. John Stamfa, he was an old Italian mafia guy. Joey Merlino was a young street hoodlum.
He thought that he was the boss, and it was like oil and water. It didn't mix. John Stamfa figured that he had to do something to retaliate, so we had people on the street all the time looking for different guys. And at this time, he had John Veazey looking for Joey and Cingolini. They rolled up on him one day and found both of them coming out of a little clubhouse they had in South Philly, and they opened fire on them. Joey got shot in the butt, but Cingolini got hit in the chest and in his heart, and they killed him. Things were getting really bad then.
And for Previte, it's an especially dangerous time. As a paid informant, he can't shoot back.
When you're an informant, you're not supposed to kill. John Stamfa wanted to kill everybody. Kill this one, kill that one. I knew if I murdered someone for John Stamfa, I was going to jail. I was going down.
Somebody will pay for Stamfa's violent rage, but not Ron Previte. On St. Patrick's Day, 1984, with the help of Previty's inside information, John Stamfa is arrested, along with 23 other mobsters. The charges include murder and extortion. Big Ron has proved his value as an informant, and the FBI wants to promote him once again.
I was asked to talk to Ron and convince him to become a cooperating witness. If you become a cooperating witness, you end up standing in court and testifying.
Equally important is the fact that cooperating witnesses typically have to wear a wire, something Ron Previte has avoided until now. If discovered, he will likely be killed. But Previte doesn't see danger. He senses yet another lucrative business opportunity.
You're willing to wear this?
You have to tell me if I'm going to be compensated for it first.
He brokers what will become a legendary deal with the FBI. He'll wear a wire and testify in court in exchange for $500,000, plus expense money to cover everything from health insurance to mortgage payments.
People say that it was the greatest deal ever brokered with the FBI. I don't know that. I just know what I've been told. I didn't say it was the greatest deal. Other people have said it's the greatest deal.
He had no life after he signed that thing. It was 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Whenever the FBI called him, he was supposed to be at the beck and call.
Previte doesn't waste time dwelling on the risks.
Why worry about it? I know it's hard to understand, but why worry about what's going to happen? Because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. If they grab me and put one in me, I'm dead. You can't be nervous in a situation like that. I had a job to do. It was just part of my life again.
It's 1997, and Big Ron Previte, former dirty cop, con man, and Philadelphia gangster, is now the FBI's secret weapon. He's wearing a wire and helping the feds take down the Philly mob.
I was smart. And you know the main thing is? You want me to tell you the main thing? I was lucky. I was very, very lucky.
But Previte's worried that the mob may be onto him when he gets a message from Ralph Natale. Known as a stone-cold killer, Natale, the replacement for imprisoned boss John Stamfa, wants to meet with Big Ron.
I said, of course. In the meantime, I called my guy in the FBI.
Called me. And he asked me about meeting Ralph Natale.
He said, well, you know, go to the meeting. I said, what happens if I get whacked there? He said, well, if you get whacked, we'll know who did it.
I told him, don't worry about it. We'll have FBI surveillance squad, make sure that he gets in and gets out safely.
The FBI promises to have the place surrounded, but Previte trusts no one.
I don't come out of there in 15 minutes. You guys know what
He brings his own backup, armed men, and has them waiting in the parking lot.
And I told him, listen, if something happens in there, just go in there blasting and make a getaway.
Ron, good to see you.
I go in, I meet with Ralph, and Ralph tells me that he had no animosity with me.
You're going to do business with me.
And that he wanted me to work with him. Just keep doing what you're doing and you're with me. And that's how I threw in with Ralph Natale.
Soon, Natale is asking Previte to sell methamphetamines. With the FBI's help, the deals are set in motion, and thanks to Previte's secret recordings, Natale is taken down on drug conspiracy charges.
He was convicted of the crime, sentenced for the crime, and then turned into a rat like me.
With Natale out of the way, the feds zero in on his successor, Joey Merlino, the third mob boss in 2 years. For Previte, it will be his most chilling time as a rat. While meeting with the mobster and promising to fence stolen goods, his cover's nearly blown.
I never wear socks, and I had my foot up on the table. And I looked down, and the wire was hanging right out of my leg.
Big Ron's in a room full of killers. If they spot the wire, he's a dead man.
And I casually put my leg down. I got up and said that, you know, I had to run.
You guys, I gotta go.
and I left. Every day was a close call when you wear that thing. You could get found out at any point. And if you get found out, then it's Katie bar the door.
All right, later.
After 2.5 years wearing a wire and delivering more than 400 hours of recordings, the feds have enough evidence to put Previte on the stand to testify against mob boss Joey Merlino. In the summer of 1999, they pull him from his gangster world and put him in a safe house. Within days, the mob will learn that Big Ron is a rat. Testifying was, to me, an exhilarating experience. The newspaper said I did very well in court. More than 4 dozen members of the mafia, from Philadelphia to Boston, are brought down, including Joey Merlino.
Without Ron, it wouldn't have happened.
In addition to the $500,000 he received, the FBI offers their star witness protection and a new identity. Previte doesn't take the offer, despite being a target for death.
I don't have no fear of being hunted. I am hunted, but I don't fear it. And honestly, it's just not something to dwell on. I know people are always worried about dying, this or going. Why think about death? You're alive. Enjoy the day. Why worry about it? In fact, a bullet to the head's probably pretty quick.
Big Ron Previte chose a life that has been painful for his family and costly to society. But he has no excuses and no regrets.
Take away my life story. Love me, hate me, do whatever you want to do. This is what it was. I mean, I'm not here to make people love me, to make people hate me. There's nothing to take away from it. Absolutely nothing. It's just a true story.